Welcome everybody to the stream. This is Daniel at Haunted Holler Painting, and I'm currently priming up a couple models right now with Gesso. This is our big bad boy patchwork monster from Reaper here, and we're gonna see how long this takes for his Gesso to drive. The wettest part is done at 8 o'clock, so we're gonna see how long this takes for him to completely dry, and we're gonna get started. I will let you all know that we're currently packing up for a move here, and next week we will not be having a show. I'll make sure the trolls update that. Next week is a fairly busy day for me, and or next week, and then from there we will resume after we get my house set up, the new house that we're moving to, and I'll let you all know a little bit more about that. Because I've been so busy here lately, I haven't prepared a hobby hack per se. We may run into a few little quick tips and tricks tonight. But as far as like recipe for disaster, we haven't created one yet. So this guy here is reminds me, I guess, what Mr. Boogedy from Once Upon a Nightmare. He's pretty much a patchwork monster, some sort of construct. And make sure we get all this white here. He is a Reaper Mini. Now I'll let you know this is a Bones model. So cool thing about this Bones model is I did not have to wash it at all before I put gesso on it. That's how good of a brush on primer gesso can be. Now you will notice that before we get ready to paint there will be little white spots. Usually you want to do about 2 coats on gesso, but you don't always have to. The reason why there'll be white spots is because as gesso dries, it stretches itself across the model. So let me know if y'all are having any streaming issues out there as well, if I'm cutting out too bad and stuff. And hopefully my wonderful producer will be on here in a minute to field me any questions. Remember, I like to answer questions and I like to talk. And, you know, if y'all have questions, just shoot them in here in the text window and we'll get to them. So let's see here. Let me get the chat up just in case he runs a little late. We've got a couple models to work with today, and we might end up putting some resin models together as well. Like a top. Let's see here. My internet's chugging today. My wife left our bedroom door open. You could hear the whole world. There we go. That's gonna get hot in here now. Okay. Sorry, something's playing in my ear. I need to fix this. This is lagging out a bit. Let me do something here, guys. I'm going to direct connect my internet. Get off Wi-Fi here. If I can. Man, we got some of the weirdest commercials on this channel. Alright. Let's see if that helps a little bit, internet-wise. Okay, I'm going to pause that. Okay, let me check a few other things here before we get started. it's a little bit of a mess here. Come on. Okay. Let me adjust this other camera. I think it might be one of my root problems. It doesn't seem to be. So this is what happens, guys and gals. Alright, let me close out this window. Alright. Let me make sure I ain't got any more other applications open that are slowing us down. Discord's pulling a little bit. OBS is. Performance. Normally it's not this bad. Huh. Yeah, my PC's like chugging hard, guys. I'm not really sure why. I got Notepad open. I don't know if that's really a problem or not. Oh, let's fix this though. I don't like it. I feel like it's. There we go. It's like a setup every week. Something's different's going on. A lot running in the background. Okay, so let's promise another model. And this one is a Ravencon. This is a Reaper model. Actually, let me show you this model real quick. This one's kind of interesting because I was sent some models from Norse Foundry, and the paint on their stream, and I've been putting them together. And this is Norse Foundry's Ravencon. Man, it looks like pretty pimp. But here's the Reaper model of a Ravencon. So you can see the difference in detail. The size is a little bit different. One's got a lot more detail on it than the other one does, which is fine. But yeah, I'll be painting that one here as well. Not tonight, but after we get moved and get settled in and get over to the Norse Foundry stuff on Fridays. So let's, right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and prime this guy here. And right now I can't see your questions. I had to shut the window down. Give it a few minutes for Bake Sauce to get in there, and he'll help us out with questions. Okay, and remember, this is with gesso. You slather it on. You don't need a lot. Well, you might need to do more than one coat. So let's see here. And I'm actually excited about painting the Ravencon. I've never painted a Ravenkind before. I think it'd be a pretty cool deal. I have an idea for his hands. I'm going to treat his hands like they are his feet. So, and I think instead of a raven on this guy, I'm going to give more of a crow look. Because I like the concept of having that yellowish orange beak of a crow. So, and it gives it more, it lets me do a little bit more with it because black on black with dark robes and whatnot will not look that great. So, let's see here. Let's get him coated. Yay, he's coated. Okay, he is going to dry up here in a second. Okay, now I've got my wet palette ready. It's kind of curling up there in the corner. It's normal sometimes. Let's see, get it down there. I want to paint an Iron Maiden first, because I feel like painting an Iron Maiden. So the colors I'm going to use for the Iron Maiden is I'm going to first start out with basing the Iron Maiden in this rough iron from Army Painter, right here. So let's need, might need 2 drops. Okay, just a little bit of paint. We don't need a lot for this one. I don't have a magnet on that one, so I'll throw it into this grip here. So here we go. So this is Iron Maiden from Army Painter, not Army Painter, but Reaper. Yeah, you see now we've got splotches here where we missed. It's fine because usually on these Reaper models, they will take paint in some areas, but some areas they won't. So hopefully we should be good. So what am I doing right now is I'm taking and filling in the big panels with this rough iron. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure, this one's a fairly decorative Iron Maiden. It's got a head on top of it and all that. But I don't think that they would have gotten really too decorative with it using 2 different metals, but I'm going to use 2 different metals in this. So, I mean, this is really how simple this is. And again, we're always been talking about getting stuff to the table. So we're going to let this dry real quick. Okay, we've pretty much got the whole thing coated in this rough iron here. So we're going to let it dry. And then we'll start picking out some of the details and stuff on it. Now, I'm not a stickler for using 2 different types of water or separate brushes when I'm doing painting on metallics versus regular paints. I do believe, though, in keeping the brush clean. So, alright, so next we've got this model right here, and it looks to be some sort of maybe a cultist or a monk. I wouldn't say a monk. It might be like some sort of initiate. So, I'm thinking about the colors I want to use on this. Now I was thinking like maybe gray for the robes or a white. I think white would be kind of cool. So let's learn to paint white. I think that'll work. So y'all want to learn the old school way to paint white or the new school, because you're going to learn the old school. So let's see here. First color we're going to need, white, matte white from Army Painter. I think we're going to go with the ash gray is the other color that we're going to need. So let's mix up ash gray first. So the bottom robes are going to be white. Top robes will be blue. I mean, like the hood and the robe on it. And I do believe my friend Bake is in the room. Yeah, have I had any questions yet, bud? got 6 or 7 people in the room. It's amazing. Yeah, that's my apocalypse hair. It's how I keep my hair looking during this time period. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to get ready for cosplay for Halloween. And I cut my own hair too. I mean, years of keeping this hair wonderful like this, you know. Okay, so I went with this dark gray color, and what we're going to be doing is painting in these robes here, and then I'm gonna. He's got this looks like a little breastplate type deal. I think I'm gonna possibly do that in a brown color, maybe a leather. I'm not really sure. And then this but his little cape area and his hood. I think I'm gonna do it in a blue. So first of all, I'm gonna start with gray, and we're gonna come in here and we're going to just fill in the gray. The key with this one is we really want to get the gray in the recesses. Now, again, we're talking. Let me make sure we're in frame here. This is going to be more of an old school way to paint white. It's going to be a little bit more time consuming, which is fine. But if we pull this off right, it's going to look pretty good. So now this gray, ash gray, as its name sounds, it is a kind of a brownish gray. If you look at different grays, you've got, you know, just like different whites. You have like cool grays that have a little bit of blue in them, and you have grays with a little bit of brown in them. And so, like, this would be more of a one with some brown in it, and so, which is okay. I mean, usually for white you want to do a bluish gray, but I think this will lend to the fact that maybe the world that he's in is a little dusty and not as clean as the rest of the world, or, you know, it might just give it a little bit better of an effect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put that on there. Okay. Make sure we get it. Now this one coat will be probably the most important coat of this color that we do. The reason being, and I am kind of moving fast on that, I want to get it on there. You want to make sure it is even all the way through. So we are going to have to do 2 coats on here. So that's the key. Okay. As you all know, I use a larger brush. Who else is in the room there tonight, Bake? Okay, we got some new names in there. Say hello, everybody. Okay. Alright, so... Oh, we're off there. So, I've got the gray pretty much on there. There's some spots I did miss. And this is my beater brush, as you all have got to know it. So, let's let this dry real quick, and I'm going to put another coat on it real quick. Go ahead and prep my white, though. Oh wait, that's great. I grabbed the wrong bottle, guys. It's just been one of those days. My wife's in the bedroom packing. I've had to start packing up my RPG books, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Unlike our friend Chuck, I don't have many books as compared to Chuck. So we got a little bit of white there. Okay. So, let's one more coat of this gray here. And if you all see me mess up on anything, say something wrong, point it out so I don't tell people the wrong stuff. I've been known to do that from time to time. Okay. And then I'm going to switch brushes after this here. Now this is kind of reverse of how I would normally paint this. I'm switching over to, do I want an army painter brush, or do I want a cheap brush, or do I want my Element Games? Alright, let's go with the trusty Element Games Regiment brush. This is a Kalinsky Sable brush. I've had this brush now for, check the tip on that, I've had it for about 3 years now. It's usually my go-to brush that is not a beater. Yes, you can keep brushes for longer than a week if you buy good brushes. I'm talking to you, Bake. Alright, so we got this gray. So we got this gray here, and we're mixing it in with our white. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start picking out all the high areas. Okay, now we are on our wet palette, which is good, so this won't dry out as quickly as it would. So let's see if we can get this in focus here. Okay, so I'm going to start. It's going to look kind of messy. And so the key is we're going to leave the recesses as gray as possible. And then we're going to build up our white. Who knows, we might end up working on this model all night. Let's do it a little wet. Ah, my tip. Remember, painting is a joy for yourself, and it's not for everybody, but it's also something for you to relax with. And we've kind of thinned it down a little bit here. Just fine. Need more white though. So hey, this is what I do is I'll load the brush. I don't let it go all the way to the ferrule, which is the metal part of the brush. And we just want the gray mainly in the recesses. So we are going to put a bit of white on it here. But try to leave the recesses gray. And the shadows as well. I might not be able to pull this off tonight. But it's okay. We're having fun. Fun is what it's all about. Relaxing. Everybody needs a hobby. And I need to work on my Bob Ross voice and my afro. Oh. So, does anything ever just keep you up at night? I've just had this one thought on my mind lately. How can Amish girls tell the difference between a romantic candlelit dinner and a regular dinner? Sorry, guys, I thought you'd enjoy my joke. Hey, Willie. Trying to leave as much gray as possible in the recesses. Now, I will tell you, this style is normally done with oil paint. And some of the greatest miniatures are painted with oils. There's a lot of stuff coming out of Russia that just blows me away. Of course, I mean, what, 11 and a half months of winter. What, there's nothing, a lot of other stuff to do there. Pull that out like that. Okay. This could look like hot garbage when we're done. Again, it's like my wife, she reminds me, don't show me the miniature till you're done. Because it never looks good. I say that because she's in the other room. If anybody wants to help me move, y'all can come on down next week. So we've kind of got a thinned out gray now on the cloak, or thinned out white on the highlights of the cloak, on the robe. Why do I keep saying cloak? These are the robes. Okay. So now we're going to start building up the white even more. You know, I don't practice any of this on extra models before we start, by the way, guys. This is all my genius. Sorry. I've been watching a lot of Community, and my favorite character is Chang. So has anybody got to play any RPGs in the last week or so? Are they being quiet again, Bake? Oils can be expensive, man, because you're paying for the pigment. Let's wash my brush out real quick. Man, this is still... I don't know why this is... Okay. This thing shouldn't be like... Here, I'm going to turn this around. Maybe the water's moving. I soaked it down pretty good before we started. Get my dirty water on there. Alright. So here what we're doing now is we've got just pure white on our brush, and we're trying to hit the tips, the tops, the edges that we think are going to be white. It's kind of hard to pick out a lot of this on these Reaper models sometimes because of the details. A lot of this stuff we do now mainly with washes and dry brushing. Sorry, trying to look at it through the camera lens and see what it looks like for your all's point of view. Okay, I need some white here. Surface of the model, it's not a primer issue. It looks like there's a little bit of pitting on the model. Okay. I'll still have to blend that in a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry for a second. But Daniel, you're letting it dry. Yeah. Remember, this week was brought to you by the letter R. As in ARG, I'm a pirate. Sorry guys, I'm being silly. Okay, now... The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our Iron Maiden. And so I still have that color that I was working with earlier. The rough iron up here in the corner. So what I'm going to actually do is get out a little bit of true copper. And I'm going to mix with a clog. Got the handy dandy clog remover. AKA an airbrush needle. Ah, I got it on me. That's what she said. Get that off my hand. I'm almost out of paper towels. My wife guards them with the brevity of a person protecting the environment. I love her though. She's the best wife ever. She's my favorite so far. Come on now, that was a joke. Okay, so we've got right here. If you notice, I've got the copper and I've got the rough iron. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit here, and we're gonna come out with a lighter color. So I'm trying to go with it's a color that it's still dark like the iron, but it's been worked a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here on the trim. We're just going to come in here and do the trim real quick. And this might be hard for you all to pick up on camera. Just realize that, because I am barely seeing it on my end. Thought this would be fun to paint. I don't paint a lot of furniture like this. Remember, guys, you can still get the Monsters and Treasures and the Player's Handbook for Castles and Crusades free on the Troll Lord's website right now. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Just want to let everybody know, if you have not picked up the PDF for that, you can get it for free still. One of the reasons I like to push that on here is, one, well, it's his Troll Lord's Twitch stream, but two, it is a really good RPG system. We were having a discussion the other day of, actually last night, with my group of friends, our small group from church, and about high fantasy and low fantasy settings. And they're asking, what do y'all think Harry Potter is? Well, it's low setting, low fantasy, and stuff like that. But I've heard that people think that the setting of Aired, and yes, that's the way I say it, is a low fantasy setting. And I have to disagree with the rules of low and high fantasy. Usually a low fantasy setting is like an alternate Earth with just a little bit of magic. But, I mean, Aired has lots of magic. What do you guys think about that? How does that make you feel? Get my counseling out. How does it make you feel? Okay. So, we've put some of that around the edges. I want to go in and see a little bit more of this true copper. I'm going to come in and do these little balls here. Little knobs. I guess it's the back end of the spikes. We need a little bit more fantasy in our life right now with the way this stupid world's going. There we go. That copper picks up a little bit better. I'm gonna paint the hair this copper color. I have a feeling that they wouldn't use a lot of different metals in this, and I'm not really a torture device historian. Sorry, I had to raise my voice on that one. We need Mr. Steven Chenault in here. He'd let us know. I am going to put a little bit of dissimilar metals on the face, though. I think that we might use a little silver. Plus, I need to get some out anyway. I am going to be mainly using all Army Painter colors tonight as well. So, I'm going to go with the gunmetal as my silver color for this. Oh, come on. How many of these are going to be clogged tonight? Come on. I didn't push it in far enough. Okay, so this is gunmetal. It's a Iron Maiden from Reaper. Yeah, I was just asked what model this was. Is there anybody chit chatting? I know Willie talked about watching some guys paint with oils. Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not like a bunch of people sat down and spent lots of time creating this wonderful setting for you to use and had to go in and type all that crap into, World Anvil. Just giving you a hard time, Willie. Okay, so I am going to use a non-Army Painter paint today. This is a Citadel dry compound. I don't know if you've ever used these before. Now, this one looks like hot garbage, and literally this is how they look. It looks like dried Citadel paint. Because I really have this theory that they've went through and got all these pots of paint that are dried out, and they just pulled the labels off of them and put new labels on there saying that they're this new compound, because I have this feeling that's what they do. That's just me, but part of me says that's their MO. So anyway, this is called Necron Compound. So I'm going to use this as the dry brushing for Mr. Iron Maiden. So we'll teach you, this might be a little bit too much though, but we're going to find out. So I've got most of it on my finger. So it brings it up some, which is fine. So we'll do this. Oh yeah, right there. Wipe it off with my finger. Okay, this is good. Alright. And we've got this huge shiny looking thing now, which is fine. We're working on this. Metals are kind of hard to play around with because they don't work like other paints. When you get to a certain scale, if you go anything smaller than 28 millimeter, it's actually not. It's recommended to not use metallics. So say you wanted to paint. Say you're painting some. What is that game from? Flames of Glory. Flames of War from Warlord Games. It's World War II and stuff like that. So that's done, I think, at 15 millimeter. So when you have to paint, like, say you're painting a bunch of Nazis and you're painting in their Mausers, instead of actually painting the Mauser barrels metallic, you would go in and paint them like a dark gray or a light black, and then you know, and that's what the color would be. You want to stay away from the metallics when you're doing smaller than 28 millimeter, mainly because it loses its effect and takes away from the miniature. I might try to find some examples on that and post it online later. But anything smaller than 28 mil, you want to shy away from that. So, all right. So we're going to take a little bit of blue tone, and actually no, yeah. So I'm going to take some blue tone, and I'm going to take about a drop of blue tone. Blue tone is not a wash. It's a heavy, well, you can say it's a heavy body wash. It's not an ink, though. I'm going to take 2-3 drops of black tone, or dark tone. This is Army Painter's version of Nun Oil. It's really thick, though. I will tell you that. So, I have to wet my brush when I use this and put some water in it. So, I'm going to add a little bit of blue to the... to that. So, like, if you know guns, you know, one of the first finishes on a gun they really ever did was bluing. Not like modern manufacturing of guns. And I kind of like the effect of adding a little bit of blue to my dark here, and it will actually help pull down that color some even more, but add a blue haze to it. So you really won't be able to tell it on the camera, though. Okay. So we have this all over here. It's going to bring the silver back down. So to think about this, though, a little bit, give you an idea about painting gold. I don't know if I've talked to y'all about this before, or I've covered painting gold. We'll see what this looks like when it's dried out. But painting gold, it's great. You can start with a copper, like a dark color. Then work your way through, like here we would look at. Okay, so we've got greedy gold, which is a dark gold. Then I've got a bright gold right there. So if you want to get really crazy with it, and this is weapons bronze, which is not the same. You would actually come in between these. But what I would do is take these two here, put the greedy gold down first, then heavy dry brush with the bright gold. Okay. And then that would give me my shadows effects. And then I would wash it with a flesh, because flesh is got that red in it. That was lightning, guys. So if I lose power, I'm sorry. We'll just cancel it from here. You hear that? It's been like that all evening. But so you want to put that flesh wash down and not a dark tone, because you can put the dark tone down if you really want something antiqued, but if you want something worn, like, you know, say these dwarfs have built this battering ram that's got gold accents on it. You dark, light, wash it, let it dry, and then you want to come in and highlight it, the last dry brushing, and you want to use a silver for that. It will actually just make it pop, and so it brings it all to a different level. So okay, so Mr. Cloak person, or I don't know what to call this guy or gal. It looks like a guy. There's no boobs like that. So a little bit different. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get out our wonderful glazing medium. We're going to do 1 drop of glazing medium. We're going to use ink for this. Oh, this thing's getting hard to get off. Okay. So, and I'm not going to even put a drop of ink there. I'm just going to put that much ink compared to my glaze. And Then my dirty bath water. One drop of dirty bath water. There we go. We're gonna mix together a glaze real quick. Look at that. We want to make it smooth. Okay. And we're going to come back over this with the dirty bathwater glaze. Make sure we get all the air bubbles out. One day you're all going to be like, man, Daniel ain't teaching me nothing new. And he's not very entertaining because he's just talking to himself. Y'all going to turn and be like, complain to Chuck. Okay, so we're going to let this set even longer. And what this does is it helps bring down any harshness in between each layer. How many do we got in there now, Bake? Y'all are sticking with me. Wait, we lost somebody, but we got Willie. But we lost somebody, but we got Willie. Alright. I don't know. Do I want to do Patchwork Guy or do I want to do Mr. Ravenkind? Or today, Mr. Crowkind? I really want to do Patchwork Guy. But no. This is the North Foundry one. This is the Reaper one. See the difference? Yeah, a little bit more detail in the North Foundry one, ain't it? Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go with Mr. I really don't want to get this off here. Come on now. Okay. So we've got two cloths. I'm going to say we've got a burlap. We can do a cotton. So, okay, so the burlap's going to be a brown. We're going to go with, let's see here. What color? I was thinking I had a good one. We'll go with desert yellow. Okay. And what else? This desert yellow has always been like very thick. Now I'm not gonna get fancy with this guy. I'm gonna do this guy old like how I would just do something getting it to the table. Okay, desert yellow. I'm going to use white for the non-canvas looking stuff. So let's just, I'm going to put that white on first. In the areas. Okay, so we've got this area here. Oh, crap. We're going to have to probably do multiple coats of the white. Which is fair. Let's see here. Right, the butt crack. This is a Reaper miniature. Put that all the way around there. Remember, if you can't get to... oh, this is Gesso. I did everything Gesso today. So, the cool thing about this channel, or this stream, is I have straight up been going through my box of shame. So, also let me know which... Yeah? Okay. Well, as y'all can't hear it, but Bake was telling me about priming some skeletons, and he used the Vallejo Air. How it went on very well. Did you use the? Did you brush it on, or did you shoot it on? Okay. Oh, okay. You did. Oh, you did Citadel Air. Yeah. Now I do want to get some of that Citadel, not Citadel, but Vallejo metallic air stuff. They said that that stuff goes on like liquid chrome. Hmm. Have a child yelling at his mother. I think he's scared. I think he's yelling for his mother. Yeah. Okay. We got some area in between here that's smooth. Okay. So as you see here, how most white is like this. You'll have this issue with the matte white. You're gonna have from Army Painter. You're gonna have this issue here from Ceramite white from GW, which I hate. I hate Ceramite white. It's been one of the worst colors I've ever had to deal with. But anyway, but yeah, most white does this. You get excited. You're like, yeah, it's white. It's gonna go on great. No, it doesn't. It's horrible. White, even though is what makes most paint opaque, goes on like crap usually. It really just annoys the heck out of me, or annoys the dickens out of me. Sorry, I'm in a Charles Dickens mood. Ugh. Okay, so we got this here. Let's let that dry for just a second. We'll show y'all a trick. You might like it. Okay, I need some red. Which red do I want? He's gonna be faded out. Uh, this might work. I haven't done this in a while. Mars red. Mars red is a that color red. You can see the color right there. It's not pink. It's red, but it's a light red. It's lighter than pure red. So, so remember this guy's patchwork. So we gotta figure out what type of stuff he's made out of. Okay. So the first thing he's made out of, in my opinion, is gonna be a tablecloth, a picnic cloth. What do picnic cloths look like? Red and white checkers. So we're gonna come in here, start building out red and white checkers. Paint enough orcs. Learn how to paint checkers. The key is trying to stay in a group and work your way out. Alright, rain's coming down pretty good. Again, it's all about having fun, guys. Not entering any competitions. Not trying to be better than anybody else. It's all about doing some crazy stuff, keeping it silly. They don't have to be perfect either because we're not over a flat surface. Now you can, I will tell you, for you guys who like things perfect, you can actually get these stencils that are kind of like tape. And say you're doing some orcs and you don't want to freehand any of this, that stencil will stick to the model, and then you hit it with an airbrush. And then you peel it off after it dries. You can get them in certain designs. I know some people use them in 40K on their knights, on their shoulder pads and stuff. Somebody did just send me STL models of Primarises on motorcycles. So I'm going to be printing this off hopefully probably after I move. So the models are not the actual ones for the new Anonymous set. It's somebody's creation of Primaris's on bikes. But if Citadel did come out with a application that allowed me to send things like that to my printer and still send them money and not have to waste all the shipping and all this other garbage that we had to worry about, I would so totally do that. Right. There we go. We've got a checkered belly. And there's a big gash right here, so I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that one. But yeah, there it is. Here, I'll put some red right there. So what do y'all think about his checkered belly? Okay, so that's when your hand starts cramping up. See, so when you do stuff like that, see, I get arthritis in my hands, so there's issues with me doing stuff like that. Okay, now let's think somebody might have grabbed a bed sheet on him. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's a good bed sheet color because I have a bed sheet in this color. Try to reuse a lot of colors too. So boom, there we go. Electric blue. So we're gonna come back over here. Now the burlap's all gonna be one color. It's that desert yellow. But I figured we can get a chance to play around with this white stuff. Or these flat panels here. This is kind of thin. Ugh. It didn't mix well. Hold on, guys. I do not like that. I get this mixed up a lot better. I know this is annoying when I had to sit here and do this and y'all get to watch my arm. But there we go. That's a little bit thicker. So you can tell the difference between the two. New one, old one. Yeah, and he does have buttons holding them together, by the way, and stitching. Come on. I'll let that dry for a second before we do anything with it. Go back and add. Let's see here. This white around his head. Try to make that a little bit better. I want to imagine that that's all the same color right there. Alright, y'all want to see something cool? Oh, come on now. Sorry, this is gonna be yellow ink. So I usually have to put agitators in my ink pots, and the agitators that I have in here are 12 millimeter dice, because that's how I roll. I have so many extra dice, man. So like these companies in China want me to pimp their products out on my YouTube channel because of that stupid dice float video I did. They would send me literally $200 to $300 in Chinese, like if I had $200 to buy Chinese dice that usually sell for less than $1 a set. That's how much they would send me, and they would send me these bricks of 12 millimeter dice, like you would play Warhammer with. Let's see if this turns out good. All right, so this is yellow ink. So we're gonna take it, load the brush up. Look, we literally just had a yellow go over in one coat. Yeah, you see it right there. How's that impossible? One coat right there. Doubt my powers. Okay, so this patchwork has a little bit of, he has a patch on his patch. It's gonna be red. Let that dry. Let that dry. You better. I need to. I know. I still got the Booby Girl in the history in the Patreon. Alright, so we're going to set him aside for a minute and let him dry. Now, y'all notice Bake Sauce just posted some links. Those links are to my Facebook page, where usually I try to keep it up to date, but I'm not really great because I need a social media manager. My daughter says she'll do it, but I don't trust her. And my Patreon. My Patreon is not to support me as a person or a family, because I will never make that much money. That Patreon is throwing me a couple bucks each week or each month or however, so we can keep me in supplies so I can buy some things for this. I'm not trying to make a profit, just trying to break even. So there's different levels. $3 will get you into the Discord. $5 will get you into the Discord, plus access to any recipes that I develop for the stuff like the homemade contrast, all this other things. $30 will get you 1 hour of my time, or that's a month of me helping you online video chat with your models, or it will get me to paint one model no bigger than this guy here, which is larger than a standard 28mm model. So that would be one model for me, and you ship it, I paint it, I ship it back. So let's go back to this guy here. This is our white that we were doing earlier. He is kind of shiny, so you can't really see it very well because the glaze medium is going to dry shiny. So I will hit it with a matte medium when we're, or matte matte varnish when I'm done, and it will bring the colors down and you'll be able to see it. So I said I'm going to do this part in blue. So I'm just going to reuse the electric blue that I've already got now. It's always good to reuse this. Now this is a cool blue. You would normally think, you'd want to think that all blues are cool, but some blues are cooler than others. Like the fawns. That was a joke. So hear me out on this, guys. I think we really need to get into animal fighting. Mainly marsupials. We'll have a marsupial fighting ring. Now, hear me out on this name. Mortal Wombat. Now, as you all know, I would never really condone animals fighting. That was supposed to be a joke. So please, people, do not get upset with me. And PETA, I still eat animals, so go away. Let's see here. Okay, we're doing cow. I really don't know what color face I'm going to put on this one. So I've been rereading well, actually, it's not rereading. I never read them in the first place. The Legend of Dritz books. Those are books about the drow Dritz from well, they started with R.A. Salvatore. Second edition Dungeons and Dragons, and then carried over into third edition. So I started out with the prequels. I started reading those. It's kind of interesting. Somebody told me, like, if you really want to understand this whole why we need to rewrite Drow, then you need to read the Dritz series. So that's what I'm doing right now. So right now, so far, I see him as a genetic anomaly for Drow. Kind of like Forrest Gump. Dritz is the Forrest Gump of Drow. Hey man, I'm gonna stand by that comment. Okay, so we got this guy. I'm gonna take a little bit of this white here. Start mixing it with this blue. You know the drill. We start mixing, we start blending. So, alright. Let's come in here and hit the high points. What are you doing, Daniel? That paint's still wet. Yes. Barely tell it. It's a light blue on a lighter blue. It is Wednesday night. It means it's popcorn night. My favorite snack of all time is popcorn, guys. It's one of the reasons why I like going to the movies. So Wednesday nights, after I get done here, I always make me a bowl of popcorn. My wife says, you eat too much popcorn, Daniel. She doesn't know it's really goes down to nothing. So I've added a little bit more white into my mix now. Into this here. So I really dislike scraping bones. Oh my gosh, these are like the worst in the world to scrape. Okay. It's lazy. Okay. A little bit of white. The tips, very fine lines. It's all about keeping it going. Oh, down here, down here. Okay, so Use the camera here to show me where I need more highlights. Okay. There we go. How's that looking? Y'all like that? Yes, Daniel, that's amazing. Well, thanks, guys. Alright, so that's some blue highlights. We're going to let that dry, then we're going to go to the brown and the flesh and outside the basin. We're done with this one. Okay. Let's go back to Boogity. Okay, wait, actually, let's go back to our Iron Maiden. How's that looking? Dots? Put them... Put it... So to make this look more like old metal, that's when you would break out the using your washes again. You know the so there's certain colors that you can use. Secret Weapons got one called Engine Grime, and if this was a lighter color, I would have used that. It's a gray. It literally looks like oh, words escape me today. It literally looks like grease, axle grease, like a gray axle grease. And I made a wash out of that, and then I would just throw that down on top of there. I use that engine grime color a lot in 40K stuff, so it usually works fairly well. Okay, so far this is where we're at with our Boogity. So, let's see here. Let's put him back on the stand. I want to try to get him finished tonight, though. I really like this model, but I only got 38 minutes. So, alright. So, let's cheat. Okay. So, I don't know if you ever had these sheets as a child. White with, yellow with little red flowers. So, we're going to do a dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. Yellow with little red flowers. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot. Some of them get bigger than normal. So, Mr. Boogity, you can't really tell because of the glare, now has red dots on his face. They're little red three-petaled flowers. Alright. Now, let's see here. What other color? What color did the sheets come in? We got light blue. We got white, which is it? No, I got it. We're going to do this one on the foot. White with blue stripes. Everything our worst childhood memories are made of. There you go. White blue stripes. Okay, what else? What else we got? There's always those ugly brown sheets. You go through that phase in life as a guy where either you think it's classy to have brown sheets because they're not blue, white, or they don't have cartoon characters on them. Let's see here. Oh gosh, no, I don't want to use that because that's an issue. Because we're going to be using that desert yellow, which is a type of brown. Let's see here. What else do we got? Oh yeah, I had flannel sheets back in the day. These were red and green. Oh, those will screw with my eyes. All right, let's do it. Dragon red, and we're gonna go green skin. All right. You tell I'm going insane here. The issue is getting the texture in. Because, I mean, not texture, but how the wrinkles are done, trying to get these patterns in. Things I do for you people. This is going to be the model that I finish and put on the page. Problem is, though, I've got to get my stuff packed up. This table's getting packed up ASAP. So, I can get it all packed away and ready to go for the move. But my wife's sticking me in the closet at the new house too, which is fine. Okay, so we're gonna do green flannel. We're gonna go with the plaid. This is gonna be. Gotta think about how plaid looks. Where am I gonna do this at? Let's do it on the arm here. So we're gonna go red. No. Wait a minute. Yeah, no. This arm right here. So, oh, that red is not going on good at all. I hate red. I hate red. I hate red. This is going on worse than craft paint. It's thick and it's freaking not got any pigment. I bust out that brick red craft paint I had the other day. This one have to dry for a second. Okay, I gotta cheat because we ain't got a lot of time. We got 30 minutes. Alright, so let's see here. Toxic Boils. This is a new color for me. It's a pink. I love pink. Pink and purple are some of my favorite colors. There's no such thing as guy or girl colors. Especially if you play Chaos. Okay. Boom. Oh, it's a nice color. See, look. Right there, look at that. Alright. So we're going to put that on this leg here. It's actually going on fairly okay. So this is what I dread, is trying to get all that desert yellow on there. That burlap. And then I'll still have to do each of the stitching with hemp rope. Because that's my favorite thing to use for stitching. Okay, so we're going to put this pink on here. Okay. Alright. So who all's in the chat room, guys? Speak up. Tell me what you want me to do. That'd be a kind of cool color. Okay. Alright. This last color is jungle green. These are these crappy green sheets that you got back in the 70s. And you gave them down to your kids that just moved out and went to college. And you figured that if he has crappy sheets, he won't bring girls over. Don't know what to tell you guys. All our lives are not the same. Okay. Oh, another one of those thin pigment paints. Crap. Is it really just that thin, or it just didn't mix up? Okay, let's try it the other way. I still love my paint mixer, by the way. It's a lot better than the other one. It is loud though, right there. So I get to put 2 tables in at the house. I get to put in my Warhammer table, and I get to put in my D&D table. I'm trying to decide though, do I really want to do 2 tables or 1 table? It's a little thicker. Let's see. Shut up. Already played with a 4x6 table anyway. If anybody wants to send me a copy of the 9th edition rules, I'll take them. Yep. Yep. But if anybody does need a copy of Adamus, just hit me up. I know a guy who knows a guy, and it'll get you the box at retail. Just saying. So, do we have any new news in the Troll Lord's world? We're not running a Kickstarter right now. So yeah, the NPC Almanac pictures that got posted today. Somebody needs to share that comment with me. I'm just gonna leave it there. I just want to see the comment. Eh. Alright. Let's see here. I might put another coat of that stupid dragon red on here. Which one was that? It's this one. Oh, hey, my hair got in. Alright. So let's put another coat of dragon red right here. I'm gonna try to pull off this flannel, guys, once this guy arm dries. This is gonna be the worst thing in the world to wash, by the way. I'm just telling y'all now. Y'all are gonna get a brown wash. Okay. Alright. Huh. I just got that. That's a needle. Look. It's a needle. And that is a spool of thread. Cool. Cool. Alright. Let's see here. No. What do I want to use for that? Claw. And there's my daughter yelling like daughters do. She's a little upset today. We're moving across town. She still gets to go to the same high school, but she's afraid because she doesn't live so close to all her friends now who don't drive and don't walk over here to begin with. But we're on the way from their house. Our house is in between most shopping and their house, so they usually pick my daughter up or think about her when they come by and grab her and take her places and stuff like that. She's like, nobody's gonna come visit me. I'm not gonna have any friends that come see me. So I don't remember being upset like that at that age, but I'm also not a teenage girl. Okay, here we go. Desert Yellow. Let's get this thing mixed correctly. Let's see how quickly we can do this without making a mess. Oh, that was loud. There we go, Desert Yellow. I like that color. My cramps come back, guys. Alright. So here we go. We're going to start edging. So the way I do this is I take it as close as I want to get it and pull it back. Okay? And this is so I don't get it on the other stuff, but I get the area that I want to get. Kind of like when you color with colored pencils, or not colored pencils, but crayons, how you always do the edges first and work your way in. Do that with this brush, but I'm going to switch to a bigger brush once I get around all this stuff I've been painting here. I'll be able to lay down more paint quicker. So let me ask you all a question. What do you do when you have a friend who believes one way that you don't believe? This isn't religion, it's politics. But yet you never really go and talk about it, but he knows that you believe that way, and he doesn't want to be your friend anymore because he can't agree to disagree with you, because he knows in the back of your mind that you don't believe the same way he does. How do you all handle that? I'm just asking for advice because I'm seriously going through that situation right now. He's acting like a little 5-year-old. And I'm just like, dude, man, I understand that we're different, but you're still my bud. And he's just drawn a hard line in the sand that he can't be my friend while I still believe this way. Now, I've had family members like that, and you can't really just. That's different. I can care less about family members. your real family is the people that you choose to have in your life. That's the way I look at it. And if you're out there watching this, I'm still your friend. Just saying, guys. Okay. Now, if you do start painting with oil paints, do not use high-end brushes because you will utterly destroy them. These are not oils, though. These are acrylics. Um, if you want if you can't have access to like, I guess there might be some import laws if you're in another country about brushes made out of Kolinsky sable. Kolinsky sable, a sable is a type of weasel. Okay, and these are literally the tail hairs of the weasel. Okay, that's why they spring back. They're really good. These weasels are harvested in Asia, and when I say Asia, it's Russia. People don't realize that Russia is part of Asia. So these are usually harvested by farmers who are protecting their chickens from these stinking things. They're a very pesky animal. Some farmers do raise them for this. They can't just pluck the tail hairs out. They kill the weasel. Um, I don't know what they do with the rest of the weasel. For a while there, I was like, man, they kill an animal for my brushes, and then I also got to thinking, it's like I stick these brushes in my mouth. These are the butthole hairs of a weasel. But I don't care anymore. Anyway, the thing is though, they hurt people's crops and chickens and things like that. So I just look at it as a nuisance. So I got through with my bleeding heart, and I was like, I'm done. Kill these things. But okay, so you can get the most famous one that everybody knows and talks about is the Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. This is pretty much the Series 7. This is the same size as the Series 7 brush is. This brush right here. This is as far as the end. So this is a Series 7, Winsor Newton Series 7 right here, but all the hairs fell out. So I've got this really fine point. This brush costs like $13. I got it at the same time I got this brush. This brush was in a set of 3. It cost £20. And yes, I say it that way because it's literally $30 for 3 brushes. But they've lasted me this long, so they've lasted a fairly decent amount of time. So you make the decision on that. But you can also go to Michael's. There's a brand of brush at Michael's called the Winsor Newton Cotman Cotman series. It's a watercolor brush. Now, when you go, say you do want to buy the Winsor Newton Series 7 brushes, they make 2 different types. They make standard and they make watercolors. You want the watercolor brushes. The watercolor brushes are longer. The standard number brush size that you want is the number 1. Okay, that's what that one was the number 1. Number 0 is too fine. You can't get enough paint on it to move anything around, and it gets annoying after a while. And you want the longer hairs because once you start painting miniatures, you're going to get to a point where you need the longer hairs. You'll learn to control them better than you will short hairs. I have short hair brushes that I hardly ever. From this set, there's a detail brush that's short hair, and I can't stand it because it's too short. And short hair brushes have a tendency to age quicker. So, sorry. But the Cotman brush is like $7 a brush. They're synthetics. You can pick those up though. They're actually pretty good. They last you. So like, here's how I thought about things for a long time, and this is how a lot of my supplies are done because where I did so much commission painting from back in the day. It was I included the price of things in my commission. So if I needed more brushes for this commission, I would be like, okay, well, I've got to buy new brushes. So you artificial brushes, you're going to probably get about 20 good miniatures out of them before they're just useless. And that's pretty much it. Um, I started saving money after I just, you know, started getting actual Kolinsky sable. All the Army painter brushes I've been buying are Kolinsky sables. Now these were a gift from a friend. These Element games from the UK. Then I had another friend that sent me the Winsor Newton Series 7 brush, and then also sent me another Kolinsky sable brush that I can't find. I've actually lost it. It was like my beater brush. It was a Rosemary and Company #1 brush that is actually marketed towards miniature painters, but it's the premise behind it was it's a second brush, like it was a B grade brush, so it's cheaper. Rosemary and Company makes pretty decent brushes as well. You can get their B grade brushes for fairly cheap, like $4 or $5 a brush, and they're not that bad at all. And for them, it's a B series brush that could not be used for fine art, so that's why you would grab it for miniature painting and such. So I know y'all want to hear all about that. So like I'm not really worried about if I leave any black in the burlap area, uh, because this is going to be an area that's going to get shaded and stuff is going to fill in with the shade, and it's going to look um, textured anyway. I think part of the reason why my hand's hurting is because I normally don't hold my hand that way when I paint, where I'm trying to show you all what it looks like. So we got a lot of it knocked out here. I'm gonna switch over here to the big brush. Man, it looks kind of wicked though, don't you think? Yes, Daniel, that's awesome. I know. We're not gonna get to finish our other one. Alright, this is what sucks. This right here, it sucks. Ah. Y'all are gonna end my miniature painting career showing y'all how to paint on video. And the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. $10 minutes. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it on this one, guys. still got to do all the stitching. If anybody wants to do a screen capture of this guy and post it in the Troll Lords group, that'd be fun. But anyway, too late now. I'm moving. Yeah, I'll be off. Remember, guys, I will be off next week, and hopefully, as long as I've got everything set up, the following week I should be back in August because of the move. And if I'm not packing, I might just come on in here and we could talk stuff like dice, or I can show y'all some stuff with Fantasy Grounds. I'm getting a campaign set up for it. You might want to do that. I can show y'all how to do that. Because this isn't just going to be about me doing miniatures. This is actually going to be me crafting as well. Showing y'all tips and tricks and stuff like that when it can come to your campaign. Anything y'all really want to do, I just prefer this during the evening. If you've never used Fantasy Grounds, I could teach y'all how to use Fantasy Grounds. And be like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome, Daniel. Thank you for doing it for me. So this is my audience voice. Because everybody's got to have audience voice, guys. Look at that, though. It looks pretty cool. Your mom thinks so. Yes, I do use your mom jokes, and my kids are notorious about it too. Especially my daughter. Alright, there we go. I gotta do the buttons next, and the stitching, and his weapon, and his claws. And I don't have enough time for that. Yeah, I'm gonna pause here because I'm hurting. My hands are hurting. It's all y'all's fault. You're making me paint miniatures like a slave. Not really. I shouldn't use that. It's very insensitive. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so I'm gonna show you a trick. This is a trick how to make these brushes last forever. Look at that point. Think about this. This brush is older than my youngest child, who is 3. And look at the tip on that guy. So this is how I do it. Take the brush, and I put it in my dirty water. There we go. Then I take this jar. All this jar is Johnson's baby soap in a bar. And I wet the brush, and I wet the soap, and I get the soap going. And this is cleaning the brush out. Okay, I move it back and forth a little bit, not too bad, not hard. And what this does is break up any paint that's in there. Rinse it out again. And then I'm going to put a little bit more soap on it. Okay, now this is going to be the shaping. So this is what I do. I start shaping a new point. So this soap has a conditioner in it. This bar of soap is literally $2 on at Walmart. So I shape a point, right? And I set it on my cup. It's got a lip for brushes. I set it like this. Never store brushes point up. Never store them point down either. You want to store them sideways. Let that dry. Let that soap dry in the bristles, okay? And the reason being is it's hard and it stays in there until the next time I need to use it. And when I wet it and break the soap up and get ready to paint again, I have a nice point, and that soap conditions the bristles. I even do this to my cheap brushes as well, just to get the crappy paint out of it that builds up. And see how dirty how much soap I got in that one. And you hear the thunder and lightning. It's very, very frightening thing. Okay, and I just reshape even the cheap brushes, which it doesn't do a lot for the cheap brushes, but it does for the actual real brushes. So as it dries, it'll dry to that point. When you get real brushes, usually they have a hard point to begin with, and that's because somebody in the factory did this with a soap, and that's how they ship it to help protect it. They also put a little plastic sleeve on it, which you keep these little sleeves, especially if you carry your brushes in a tray like I do. You just slide it back in there. That's all you do. And as it dries, it will dry in one thing. Usually, when the hairs split on your brush, okay, when your brush goes like this, like here's your brush tip, and then eventually you'll have a hair that starts sticking out like that. That is created because of there is paint down near the ferrule that's stuck in it, and it starts hairs out. Now, when you get the part where it's like this, and the tip does this, and you got all those little hairs at the tip that are just coming out like that, that's just because that's that synthetic brush, that rayon brush, and they do that sometimes. Sometimes they hook. If you look here, I've already developed a hook in this brush. Let me get it in. See the hook at the end of it? That's the hook we talk about. So, but the better you treat your brushes, the longer they'll last for you. Listen, I got 2 minutes. It's been swell, but the swelling's gone down. And it's time for me to head out of here, guys. I hope y'all have a great night. Safe night. Don't get wet if it's raining where you're at. And be cool. See you guys.